things on this. Basically, like, that elo doesn't group, but this is really important to know. Every time a team is grouped, every time, this is really, really important. Dude, just play around objectives. Like, if you get an ace, play around objectives and vision, okay? Like, if you get an ace, go push. If you kill 4 people and it's just a support, go push. Like, whenever I smurf and, like, help someone out and, like, lower elo, I literally just split push all day. If you play Vayne, you can outduel anyone with a perfect outplay. So, say, let's do this. It's gonna take a while to set up, but say you're losing. Okay, let's actually push them back down here. Okay, you're this orange team, right? You have a few options here. Say you're losing 30 to 18. You're decently fed, 5 and 5 on Vayne. You have Bork and Static Shiv. Or let's just say you're super fed. What you can do is, in this situation, and this is why TP is so important on top laners and split pushing. But you have 2 options here. Let's say, hold on. Oh fuck, I did not want those there. How do I get? Okay, so you can group over here and try to force a team fight, but if you're behind and you're the only one on, like, AD carries scale with items, so, like, more so than anyone else. So until you're like 4 items in is when you're gonna be a beast, especially with Vayne. Like, yeah, with 2 items you're kind of relevant, but you're still not as strong as everyone else in the game. So if your team's behind, it's a matter of whose frontline dies first. Like, if their tanks die before your tanks, then you win that fight, and vice versa. Also with carries, but usually, like, say your top laner lost, your jungler lost, and they're just tankier than you. It doesn't matter how much damage you shell out. You're going to be kiting this entire time. They're going to get exploded, and it's just going to be you against, like, 4 of them. And maybe your mid laner if he has good positioning. And then you give this up, you get this up, you get this inhib up. You don't get anything. In these team fights, it's really hard when you're behind. And people don't group, like I said, in that elo, but you'll see this eventually. And this is really important. And with the proper words, you can do this whatever you want if you know where people are. So, you can do here, you can lose this fight, probably burn a few summoners, get nothing out of it except maybe a kill, and just retreat and you give up your inhib. Or, you can tell your team, hey, I'm splitting, what's it called?
Don't engage.
Yeah, don't engage, don't fight. Just hold this tower, and if you have to give up this tower, back up to this one. You always want to trade into things for advance. So, if you're split pushing, like I play top Vayne when I'm smurfing, I wouldn't recommend this, but if you're split pushing, just buy a couple wards. Say this tower's still up, and your way's over here, and you see this happening down here. They're pushing up your top lane. Let's say you didn't take TP just for better reasons. You're pushing up this lane, and they have to realize, oh shit, Vayne's pushing, like we have to send someone, or she's just gonna get this without any response. If they don't have TP. Most teams are maybe gonna send one person, but as Vayne you can outduel anyone. And this happens with any split pusher. If you're a strong laner or a strong duelist, you can split push. If you can 1v1 anyone, you can split push. You should be split pushing with proper vision. So, if this is happening down here, and they're pushing into this turret, and you're pushing into their turret over here, you have the advantage here. Even though it's 4v5, you have the advantage because you have no one stopping you. They could probably dive this, but it would be really, really sloppy because this turret does a shit ton of damage. So, if they can hold this team off long enough, just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Ward here, and there. And that's all you need to know if you're getting collapsed on. Unless they decide to come all the way around here, but if you see their bot lane, that's going to take a while. So, keep pushing. By the time the wave's up here and you get this tower, they're probably going to be retreating. This is when your team should be stopping their backs at all costs. If they could just follow them out and not let them back, unless they re-engage, which they would all have to do at the same time, which isn't going to happen in solo queue because coordination is shit in solo queue, then you're free to do whatever you want. Like, you get this turret, you get this in him, and the fight might happen over here, but they have to deal with you sooner or later. So if a fight does happen here, and say we don't lose anyone and we just retreat all the way right here, and they're all low except maybe like one person, whoever's like say our tank is still like healthy, he could just interrupt their backs over and over. You can win games like this. Like, you can keep pushing because you have no one stopping you. You see them all over here. Da 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 da. Like, keep pushing, keep pushing. You can do whatever you want if you see other people. Like, play around where your opponent is. Another little thing that I wanted to go over, but why is this? Yes, I want to reset. Like I said, vision, vision, vision. Let's see. Let's say you have the advantage this time, but it's kind of close. And I said this in the game, but this way I can, with this map, it's really a lot better for me to illustrate it. So, let's see, your team's a little ahead, probably like 6 kills ahead, 3k gold. But their top laner's fed or something like that. Like, you're not too ahead, but you're pressing your advantages, pushing down mid. Once again, you're probably most likely not going to see this just because it's lower elo, but you need to realize this. Like, vision is so important. So let's say one of them have TP or something. Even if they don't have TP, you guys pushing up like this. Okay, let's use the actual people. So this is generally what it's gonna look like. Your tank and jungler are your frontliners. Support is kind of in the middle, kind of peeling for you guys in the backline. Like, your backline's exposed if you don't have the proper vision. So if you are pushing for this, you want to have a ward here, you want to have a ward here, you want to have a ward here, and you want to have a ward here, and maybe possibly even in these bushes. Like, you want to have your flanks completely warded, cause if say only have this side warded, and they're 7 and 3, Irelia has TP, she can TP to any ward down here and just straight up kill you. Like, home guard TP in, boom, and you're out of the picture completely before your tank and jungler can come back to respawn. And then they can push up and clean up on the fight, and that's a one fight, and that's a thrown game. Do you see why vision's so important now? Like, this scenario happens all the time. And it's like, this is how throws are made. This is how you lose the game. Hold on.